Okay, so I just want to give a quick heads up before the video starts. This was originally made with videos and recordings in it, like pretty much the entire thing. But the original video got a copyright claim and I can't show it anymore, so I had to go in and edit it, so things might not match up one to one, and I hope that's fine. So unfortunately, you are going to be stuck with photos, but there's nothing I can do about it. Just enjoy the video. Okay, so I have another message before the video starts. So, this is the third time that my video has been copy-striked by, Netflix. So, yeah, the video is probably going to be one of my worst, but in the coming weeks, I do hope I can make them better, because this one was just really cobbled together because of the amount of footage that I had to edit out and then add so many photos in. So, I'm just saying, I hope my next videos will be a lot better. I hope they are. But yeah, if you guys want to support me, please drop a like. Yeah, I've spent way too much time working on this video. So I know this is a weird thing coming from me, but I won't be able to get out any game reviews for the next few weeks. So in that time, I wanted to branch out and get into some other media. So now on to the actual review. Currently, I won't spoil the show, but when I do delve into spoilers, I will put it up on the screen so you know when you can click off. But right now, I'm starting with Camp Cretaceous Season 3. And right off the bat, I'm going to say that it is probably the best season in the series. Now, I just want to give you a warning. This video will probably be taken down almost as soon as it gets up because of the footage I use, so in that case that does happen, I will just re-upload it with pictures instead. But anyway, back to the video. So as soon as you get into it, you'll notice that it's much darker than usual, literally and figuratively. And this is best shown in the opening shots of the show. The clouds are dark and gloomy, and it stays this way for quite a lot of the season. It feels like it perfectly sets up the darker and more horror-esque aesthetic of the show. This might be me, but I really enjoyed the tone of this season. Season 2 was dipping into some pretty serious stuff with Tiff and Mitch, but this went above and beyond what I expected and how serious the season was just in general. Now, something weird that I noticed was this tonal shift that I will touch on more in the spoiler section. But there was a giant tone jump from being happy and hopeful to downright terrifying and horror about halfway through the season. Now, this isn't really a bad thing, but it was just extremely jarring and slightly weird. Now, about the actual episodes themselves. Most of them are really good. Unlike last season, I don't think there was a real miss in them at all. They were all entertaining and really fun to watch. But on the topic of episodes, I want to talk about episode 9 and 10. Now, if you remember the previous seasons, there were only 8 episodes per season. But now, this one has 10. But this season feels like it was also supposed to end on 8. The last 2 episodes seem to be a bit jammed in a bit. There is a reason why these 2 episodes are included, and it links in with the wider Jurassic World universe. But unfortunately, these 2 episodes really kill the pacing, and it could have just been part of a separate season. It was just too mashed in and messy to be added like this. But also on the positive is the character development. It is so well done this season. I won't spoil what each character goes through and what they do, but this is also the first time that I can actually enjoy Sammy's character. But on another note, this season is also littered with Easter eggs for you to keep your eye out for. Overall, I really did like the season, a lot. But now I'm going to delve into spoiler territory. This is your first and last warning for spoilers. Okay, so I hope everyone who didn't want to watch clicked off. So anyway, first I need to talk about the elephant in the room, E750, aka the Scorpius Rex. And my first impression of it is that its face is a bit derpy. I'm not sure what it is about it, maybe the scrunched up face, but something looks really wrong with it. I can't put my finger on it, but something just makes it look really derpy. Even though I start off on a negative, I still have to say that overall, and besides the derp factor, E750 is an abomination. And now, the show actually does set this up really well. An example is in the first episode. The campers get spooked by ruffling in the bushes, and it's revealed to be the Ceratosaurus. You know, the one that sniffed the spineless poop in JP3? Well, it quickly gets taken out by the Scorpius. We don't get a good look at it, but we do see it get a sneak peek at its ferocity and its climbing abilities. It dispatches the Ceratosaurus so quickly it leaves whoa, what? And I mean, this scene clues you in on how much trouble the kids are going to be in throughout the entire season. But what really sold me on E750's terror was the scene where it attacked Camp Cretaceous. There's something just so unnerving about the way it roars. Well, anyway, here's the clip. It just gives us such a horrifying feeling. The way it stands up and roars just seems super unnatural and makes it so much scarier. And how it looks like it unhinges its whole damn jaw is terrifying. I absolutely love the way E750 was made in the show, if only a bit too derpy. But the show really sells you on the actual danger aspect of this creature in general. A dinosaur that can climb trees, is poisonous, and can have mood swings? What's scarier than that? I mean, other than forgetting to take out the chicken to defrost while your parents are coming home. But I digress. My point is about just how scary E750 is made out to be throughout the build-up and finally its great reveal. But there is a problem I have with the Scorpius Rex's reveal, and that's the timing. To catch you up to speed, Brooklyn and Sammy are trying to figure out what E750 is after they heard about it in Season 2. When they find out about it, they go into full panic mode. They even run into Darius, who is now seeing the first signs of it. There's a dead Gallimimus in the trees. They act as if they know the Scorpius is going to attack, and it does. So later on in the video, I will go into why the Scorpius Rex attacking the day they find out about it is a long shot, but I'm not going to do that now. And there is some really great fan service thrown in throughout the season. Yaz actually says that the original owner was actually killed by compies. And if you can't tell, this is a reference to Hammond's death in the Michael Crichton novels, where he was devoured by compies. And I truly do love the stuff that they add in. Another thing they do is recreate the finish of Velociraptors in the kitchen scene, for this time with the Scorpius. It was some really great fan service, and the only thing I wish they did was open up the freezer, because as we all know, that's one of the greatest mysteries of all time. But now onto the big plot twist of Season 3, that there are two Scorpius Rexes. Now I think this was a great thing that they put in, and it was actually quite set up well, with Darius saying,
Brooklyn just ran into the Scorpius Rex, and now it's all the way over here? It's gotta be the fastest dinosaur ever.
So I'm actually really glad that they pulled this plot twist, but this does reach into the problems that I've been wanting to get to. I mentioned before that in episodes 9 and 10 seem not to fit in very well. That's because the main conflict has been resolved. The two Scorpiuses were killed in episode 8. Problem solved, right? Well, when they leave the island, they're forced to turn back by their supposed saviors. But we find out that they were never there to rescue the campers in the first place, and that this is actually, in fact, the cold open to Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. And I mean, it was actually really cool to see the man snatched up by the mosasaurs from the kids' perspective as they cheer him on. Not cheer him on to get eaten, but cheer him on to get back up onto the helicopter. But anyway, enough of that, back to my point. We found out that Dr. Wu is coming back to the island to retrieve his laptop with E750's research on it, and the kids are determined to stop it. For what it is, I actually really enjoyed this section. They race around to the lab and have to try to stop Wu from reaching it. But unfortunately, I feel like it would have been better if it was made into Season 4 and was longer and more drawn out with that new mercenary character that was introduced. But for what it was worth, it was a nice section about how the campers actually did make a change in the long run. This being the Indoraptor being made years instead of months later. But I will go into that a bit deeper in another video that's going to be coming up in 1 or 2 weeks. But again, this leads me on to another problem. In episode 9, it is revealed that they've been on the island for 6 whole months. Now if you can't tell, this is a long time for no one to get eaten by a dinosaur in an infested island. These kids can give Eric Kirby a run for his money. Well, actually, they did, and survived for 3 times as long as he did. So, I guess that's something of an accomplishment. But it is just so absolutely absurd that they survived for this long when most people are killed off so early. But I think there are a few theories that can be made about this, about how they survived, but I'll get to those in a couple of weeks, because I have no idea what to make for the next, couple of weeks. But there is actually a second problem that comes with this time jump, and it's about E750, or more accurately, what it was doing. You see, in the beginning of Season 2, Yaz checks off day 22 of being stranded on Isla Nublar, and since currently it has been 6 months, so the Scorpius has been active for around 5 months. Why have we not heard anything about it since then? And what has it been doing? This is about when I mentioned the unlikeliness Brooklyn and Sammy found out about it on the same day. It's almost like it was waiting for Brooklyn and Sammy to find out that they escaped before attacking them. Just for like dramatic effect or something, I don't know. But as soon as they get the news about the Scorpius, it attacks that very same night. The timing is just so bad. I know it's a kid show, but I think it would have been better if there was a small time jump of a week or two of them preparing for E750, and then maybe another problem could have popped up where they have to wait for the boat again. But for it to attack the exact same night that they become aware of it is annoying to say the least. And again, I do have some theories, but I will wait a few weeks before I upload it. But back to the positives. And this seems like quite a weird thing to say, but I actually liked how they did Sammy potentially dying. It seemed to be a very real thing that could happen in-universe, and I like how grounding and realistic it was portrayed. There were no jokes or anything like that, and Brooklyn and Kenji seem to really be contemplating the reality of Sammy actually dying. Last but not least for this review is the tonal shift that I brought up earlier. For the first 4 episodes, they're pretty much happy and seem to be enjoying themselves. After all, they did find Tiff and Mitch's boat, and think that they're going to get off the island soon. But as soon as E750 is revealed, all happiness is gone. It goes dark and dreary instantly. They spend most of the season like this, and for God's sake, even the sky gets darker when they find out. But here's one of the horror elements that comes out to play, such as the scene where Yaz crosses paths with one of the Scorpius Rexes. These scenes are just so terrifying, and they're just so well executed, and I just absolutely love them. But anyways, that's my review of Camp Cretaceous Season 3. I know I was late, but better late than never, right? And overall, I really enjoyed it. It had its flaws, but it was still a great show. I can't wait for Season 4, which will hopefully come out this September. But for the next few weeks, I will be reviewing movies and shows and diving into some uncharted territory for me. So if you guys like this stuff and want this to become regular on the channel, please hit the like button and subscribe. So to everyone who made it this far, have a good day.